Hello, it's Friday the 28th of November. I've actually had this week off work. I've decided to take a week off of working, supposedly to get everything winterised, but winter's sort of arrived already, so it's actually pretty frozen outside this morning.
It's frozen every morning.
Yeah, which is a bit annoying because it stopped me doing some of the things I actually wanted to get on with. But it's still been quite a busy week. I've done a lot of tidying up and stacking wood, chopping wood. Been into solicitor to sort out my tax affairs. I'm going to do a little bit on working over here as a freelancer. And that's it really.
No, you insulated the bedrooms.
Oh yeah.
Ceilings.
I bought a load of the fiberglass wadding stuff, went up in the loft and laid that over our bedroom
and Vida's bedroom.
The room that Vida's going to be staying in because she's coming over for Christmas. Most of the house, it's above the ceiling is like a layer of packed earth, which is the old way of insulating, which does work, but I just thought if I put some more up there, it'll help even more.
It has made a difference.
Yeah, in the bedrooms. So I haven't done it over everything because it's expensive, but we've done it over the bedrooms. This room and the kitchen are like toasty anyway.
Well, the kitchen's coming down next year, so
yeah,
that'll have new insulation anyway.
It will, but at the moment the Rayburn's on in the kitchen and it all wafts through into the living room.
It wafts, does it?
It wafts through into the living room. So yeah, we're never cold.
Oh.
We're never cold in here.
It's toasty.
Yeah, it's lovely. So yeah, the Rayburn. If you're coming to live in Bulgaria,
bring a Rayburn.
Bring a Rayburn. They do pretty good fires and that here, but there's nothing quite like a Rayburn, is there?
No. Plus, we can do a full dinner on a Rayburn.
Yeah,
I know you can on the Petchkas, some of them.
The difference between a Rayburn and most of the Petchkas over here is that Rayburn is cast iron, big, thick, heavy metal, and most of the Petchkas, which is the equivalent of a Rayburn, it's a wood burner that's got a little oven, hot plates. They're fine, but the metal's quite thin on them, so they lose heat almost immediately when they go out. Whereas the Rayburn, you can let it go out overnight.
Still warm.
When you get up in the morning, it's still warm, and then you just stoke the fire back up or relight it, and it heats up in no time. I love it.
I love it, I just don't like the dust it creates.
Yeah, well, that's the same with any wood burner. But it's either that or use electric.
Cats like it.
The cats love it when they get a chance to come in. So I thought I'd do a little bit on working as a freelancer in Bulgaria. I didn't actually get everything sorted out until this week, simply because before you can start paying into the you can start paying into the Bulgarian social fund from when you first get residency. The problem I had was that when we first got residency, we weren't actually living here. We were still living and working in the UK, and with the double taxation, you don't have to pay social. It's the equivalent of the English national insurance. You don't have to pay it in both countries, you just pay it in the one, and we were living in the UK and paying national insurance in the UK. The trouble is, when I went to actually sort of sign into the Bulgarian system, they were trying to backdate my payments right the way back to when we first got residency, which is 6 years ago, but we've only actually been living here for 2 years. So they were trying to claim 4 more years than we had to pay, and it's taken months to get that sorted out. I had to fill forms in the UK to get what I thought was proof, but they weren't happy with that, so they then wrote themselves to the government in England, or the tax people in England, and eventually they've accepted it. So I've then had to pay back payments of national insurance, or what they call social fund over here, back till, well, since I last officially paid national insurance in the UK April last year. So I've had to pay from April last year right the way round to beginning of November. Now that was done on the basis of not working, simply because it was too complicated to say, oh, I've been working for this much or working for that much. They were quite happy to accept that. So my self-employed business officially starts now, or beginning of November. So what can you expect if you're actually over here working as a self-employed person, freelancer? It's not actually a very if you're not earning a lot of money, it's actually quite a high taxation system. People have got this idea that Bulgaria is low tax, and it is on property, cars. So I suppose if you were to calculate everything, the taxation is probably less than the UK. Certainly if you take council tax and things like that into account. But as a worker, unless you're very well off or you're earning high money, the taxation is actually quite high. So essentially, if you're not working, you pay into the health fund around about 38 levs a month, which is what, sort of 15. Yeah, so you pay about £15. But if you're working, they base your contributions on a minimum wage, which in Bulgaria at the moment is 933 levs a month. So the calculation, you can choose what you pay your social fund on, depending on what you think you're going to be earning a year, so, or per month rather. So the minimum is 933 and the maximum is 3,750, something like that. What it means is your contribution to the social fund is based on your monthly income. So I'm claiming the minimum, which is 933 a month, because I probably will only be earning that. If I earn more than that, it's calculated at the end of the year. You know, they take a full year of how much you've earned each month and make the difference up, but never less than that. So even if I was not earning, if I was only earning 500 levs a month, I would still pay as if I was earning 933 levs a month. As I'm only intended to sort of really do 3 to 4 days work a week, hopefully I will be just below this, or it might be just over, and then it's recalculated at the end of the year. If you're earning a lot of money, you only pay on the 3,750, so it's not so bad. So essentially, if you take the tax, which is 10%, minus, or take your income, so let's just say it's 1,000 levs a month, or to make it more simple, if you say it's 933 levs a month, you pay the minimum social fund, which is actually 259 levs a month, which is quite a big percentage of that 933. You then deduct 25% for expenses. That it's not questioned apparently, that's just automatically deducted 25%. And then you pay 10% tax on the remainder. And you do that from the very first lev that you earn. So unlike the UK where there's a threshold, so let's say, I don't know what it is now, but about £12,000, where you don't pay tax, and you don't pay national insurance if you're below a threshold as well. Over here you pay the whole lot from the first lev that you earn. So there's the myth about Bulgaria being low tax. It's not. Well, not for a worker. It's low tax if you're rich. If you know, housing taxes are low, but effectively it works out that the lowest paid people in society are paying roughly 27% total tax and social insurance on their income, whereas the highest probably only pay about 7%. So it's a good place to come if you're a high earner, not such good a place if you're a low earner. But it is what it is. If you want to work over here, you have to pay the tax and social insurance. It does contribute to, part of the payment is into the pension scheme, but I really don't know what's going to happen with that, because I'm probably only going to be working for another 5 years. And I think you have to work for 10 years to actually be able to claim any Bulgarian pension, and it's quite a high contribution. That's part of the 259 levs that you pay each month. Whether you get any of that back, I don't know. It's one of those things. If anybody does know, please let me know, because it is a bit annoying when you're paying 200 odd levs a month into a pension scheme that you're never going to be able to claim, or at least I don't think I'll ever be able to claim. And on top of that, if I want my full UK pension, I've got to pay voluntary payments in the UK, because I haven't got enough qualifying years over there either, so sort of stuck behind a rock and a hard place with that. Anyway, that's essentially what you have to pay. So I'm going to be now paying 259 levs a month. The only good thing over here is you can pause your work. So for instance, if, say like in January, I doubt very much I'll be doing much work at all, because everything would be frozen and cold, and we're going back to the UK for a week as well. So I'm going to pause my working for at least 1 month, which then all I have to pay is the non-working contribution to the social fund, which is about 38 levs. So you can do that. You can switch it on and off through the year, depending on whether you're working or not. And then it's all recalculated at the end of the year. You have to pay every 3 months an instalment, and then so every quarter, and then at the end of the year it's all recalculated, and you have to pay whatever you owe. That's it. I've made a new table in the cheese cellar. It's going to be for vegetables, actually, to lay the vegetables out. This is where I keep the cheese, but I thought I'd just lay the cheese out and show you what I've got before turning it and putting it back in there, and then I'm going to lay vegetables out in here. So this is our sort of cheese haul at the moment. So we've got sort of my little seat. I've got 2 cheddars. They're cloth bound cheddars, so the mould on the outside is just purely on the cloth. This is a little goat's cheese with white mould on the outside. It's a bit hard to see, the light's not great in here. Then we've got Stilton's. This one is only about a week old, well 10 days old, and this is the one that will be ready for Christmas. That's pretty much there now. And then these are 2 formaggio's. So this one is basically ready. So it's almost like a washed rind. It should be a bit like a Swiss cheese. It will have little holes in it. And that one there is about 2 weeks old. And then also I've done some Coca-Cola, which is a air dried meat. This, once it's air dried, I cut it in half and then vacuum seal it, and it keeps in there quite nicely. So that's ready. Well, you can eat it now, but I'm saving it for Christmas. So for Christmas I'll have obviously that. This cheddar is ready for Christmas. The goat's cheese is ready now, but it can be saved till Christmas to get a stronger flavour. That Stilton's ready for Christmas, and this formaggio is ready to eat basically now as well. So I'll keep that for Christmas. Again, the flavours develop. So I'm now going to turn them all, put them all back in their boxes. I found that the cellar, the temperature stays absolutely perfect, but it's very difficult to control the humidity. So I found the easiest way to do it is each of the cheeses has a cover, which I can then either lift up slightly or drop right down to get the humidity to the right levels. Humidity really for most cheese maturing wants to be somewhere between 85 and 95% moisture or humidity. Temperature wants to be about because most of the recipes I've done are in from America. They use Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit's around about 50 to 55, which I think is around about 12 to 17 degrees centigrade. So it's a little bit warmer than the fridge, but obviously not hot. The cellar keeps the temperature perfectly, but it's very difficult to control the humidity, so that's the easiest way I find, is just to have them in their own individual little containers. Oh, and this is a little heat lamp I've got on just to keep the chill off the air. So there we go, that's all the veg laid out. It's a good way to store vegetables. If you do them like this, leave them for a few days, then you can actually stack them a bit, but I think it's quite nice laid out like that, because you can see exactly what you've got when you need to replace things. We're getting a bit short on potatoes, so I need to get some more of them. Onions up there. All the cheeses are back in their little boxes, so this is the sort of thing I mean. That's the little goat cheese, and then I've got this, so that shows the temperature and humidity. It's a bit low in here now because the temperature, I've had the door open for a while and it's been freezing overnight. So they're all nicely protected in their little screened box. Vegetables are all in here. Dex has come for a sniff around. Potatoes, Dex, you don't like that. So, can we go and carry on with other stuff? Getting ready for winter. It's on its way for sure. So yeah, that's it, other than saying happy birthday to Charlotte, our oldest daughter.
Yep.
They've been off to Disneyland, haven't they?
Well, she didn't go for herself. I think she probably
she
did.
did actually, yeah, with the excuse of taking Mila, my granddaughter, and her daughter, and Bryn.
Oh, she took Bryn.
Yeah, she took Bryn, yeah. Well, I think it really was a trip for Bryn and Charlotte.
And their friends.
With Mila tagging along.
Yeah.
But, so, happy birthday, Charlotte. Hope you had a nice day on the day, and I'm sure you've had a nice time at Disneyland.
We do have another cat.
Yeah, there's a kitten appeared.
We thought Chloe was pregnant back in August. And then she suddenly dropped weight, and despite me following her everywhere and stalking her, could never find any evidence. And it wasn't till about, 2 weeks ago. And I opened the door, and they've got a double stacked basket that Ivan's made from out there. And I could see this face, and I suddenly realised there was 3 of the cats that are normally here were there, but there was another cat in the basket. Lo and behold, the kitten.
We're going to end up with so many cats here.
So we're back to 4 cats.
So it's all, everything's prepped for winter. I've made Christmas pudding.
I've made a Christmas cake.
Yeah. Pickles. I've made mincemeat to go in mince pies.
Mm-hmm. Getting the tree up next week.
Yeah.
I am.
Nick. Yeah, so Christmas decorations. If any, we haven't actually been here for Christmas before, so it'll be a first this year.
Yeah, so
if anybody's who lives in Bulgaria is watching this, can you get turkey at Christmas? Fresh turkeys here.
Oh, fresh.
I know you
we
can
see frozen.
Yeah, there's plenty of frozen, but I just wondered if you can get fresh turkeys here at Christmas, if it's a thing or not. Personally, I'd like a nice rib of roast beef, but you definitely won't get that here. But we might pop across the border to Romania.
Pop across the border.
If we do, I'll bring you along on that one, because that'd be interesting. Romania, they eat a lot more beef than they do in Bulgaria. Here it's just chicken and pork, isn't it?
Yeah. Occasional lamb.
Yeah.
But they're anorexic.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this week. Been a bit of a short one. I've got plenty of things in the pipeline. Just don't really seem to be able to get on with them. I've been pretty busy working.
You've been working, and also because the days are really short now.
Yeah, when you get home it's dark.
You're leaving at 6:30 in the morning. You're not getting home till 5:30, 6 o'clock at night, and it's pitch black.
Yeah, and when it starts freezing, it's very difficult to lay concrete, do things like that. What I want to try and get done, which I'm going to actually, if the weather, if the sun gets a bit warmer today, is go and clear the space where I'm going to make the greenhouse. So I want a smaller greenhouse next to the polytunnel that I can keep warm using the wind turbine and a couple of solar panels, just enough to keep the chill off the air, so we can put plants up there, get an early start. The polytunnel itself is too big really. I've decided to try and heat, so I've acquired a load of glass, single pane glass windows. Some, well, they're all given to us. Some from a lady I do some work for, and some from another lady in the village who's just had double glazing put in and wanted rid of all the old windows, so I've taken those as well. So I'm just going to make a single glazed greenhouse, but it'll be a smaller area to heat. So that'll be coming up. I've got to get the wind turbine up and running, and a couple of the solar panels that are up there, just to run I'll probably do a sand battery to keep the heat in there, which is a bit like night storage heaters. So yeah, that's it. Short one this week, and see you soon.
Bye.
So here we go, feeding time at the zoo.
Don't know where the little one is.
He's down here.